Yes. So for the benefits of those watching later on, we're looking at why women 40 plus can't resist sugar or carb cravings. And let's just remove the number 40 plus, because this applies to women of various different ages because our bodies are always changing. So I'm Sonia Barnes, naturopathic nutritional therapist and health and gut coach, work with women over the age of 40, particularly, but women to help to boost their gut health and so they can regain their energy. As a woman at the age of over 40, she's juggling quite a lot in her life at that time. She could be a single mother. Having her career change, could be holding up the job, the home, whatever that looks. But she's going through changes. And of course, the body also change. So she's going through changes in her life and her body's also changing. And so this evening, we just want to look at, why is the body, why is so difficult to resist the sugar and the carbs? And so welcome everyone for joining. So I give my story in that I used to sit and eat a box of Celebration chocolate. Hands up, there's no shame in this room this evening. And you can also put it in the chat, or you can think about the times when you were having food cravings. It could be now. Yours might not be chocolate like mine was. Yours probably could be salt, could be carbohydrates, it's bread. When I speak to individuals, in my clients, and I say, what's one thing that's going to be difficult for you to give up? An individual will say, bread. Some will say, oh, the chocolate doesn't faze me. I can walk about and see chocolate and go about my business, but the bread holds me back. So, it's different for all of us, but we have our various different cravings. And so once you reach the age of premenopausal, so you're in your late 30s, and perimenopause, so roughly starting from age 40 onwards, about 50, and this is just general numbers, up to about early 50s, your body is going through a lot of changes. I read a report recently, about 2 years ago, that it was like 32 different symptoms that a woman will face. But recently, up to yesterday, I came across information that over 400, hear me right, 400 symptoms and different changes that a woman's body will experience after the age of 40 and onwards. So we're talking 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, and beyond. So when you're showing up at such sessions like this to finding out, because the topic grabbed you, hence why you're here, and I welcome you for being here. It's what's going on in your body. Something triggered you for being here. And so cravings, when you crave something, you're probably asking yourself, beating yourself up, why can't I have a better handle of my life? What's going on? What's going on here? Put in the chat, from a scale of 1 to 10, where are you with your cravings? Do you have cravings? I suspect you do, or you did. That's why you're here in this room. And there's no shame. So when I have an opportunity to look at the chat, I'm not seeing it right now, I want to see the numbers go up. I want to see you partaking, because there are roughly about 30 of us in this room right now. Do you have a craving? And are you on a scale of 1 to 10? Where are you on this craving? Because I know when I was in that situation, okay, I'd be a 10 or probably 15. I'm off the scale, literally off the scale, because I would sit and eat not only the chocolate, but the Haagen-Dazs ice cream. Why the Haagen-Dazs ice cream? Because for me, it was less milky, because of course, I'm a lactose intolerant. So I wouldn't be able to take all the other ice creams, but Haagen-Dazs in all its flavors, except chocolate. Don't like chocolate. And as I said the word chocolate, today is World of Chocolate Day. For those who don't know, today is World of Chocolate Day. So, for those who probably eat in their chocolate, and whether it's a dark chocolate or milky chocolates or white chocolates, but, we got to be careful with the chocolate too, because it's not just satisfying or sweet tooth, but not only just the sugar, but the caffeine in the chocolate. But I won't burst anyone's bubble here today with that. Okay, we can pick up another time. But yes, it's World Chocolate Day. So yeah, put in the chat where you fit yourself on the scale. Where are you on the scale? And so we said earlier, there is no shame here. No shame whatsoever. Just here. Okay. Yes, there's no shame. So, the craving is a craving, is your craving. It's not because you're weak or not able to control yourself. Yes. Someone says, I'm just picking it up here now. I like something sweet after a meal. Yes. Who eat the food? Who does now have a plate of dinner or even lunch and fancy, what's for dessert? And usually, dessert is usually something sweet. Yeah, I just have to resist the nibbles. Once I nibble, that's it. You know those, what's it called? Once you pop, you can't stop. Yes, one of those. Yes, once you pop, you can't stop. I think it's those crisps, Pringles. That's it, Pringles. Keep going. So for someone here this evening, it might not be the sugar, but it's the carbs, because the crisp, the Pringles, is carbs, but refined carbs. So again, blood sugar, it falls into sugar as well. And it's gonna hit the dopamine, thinking, this crunchiness is really nice. And yes, it might not be just the sugar. So as I move swiftly on, in this session this evening, we're just gonna be looking at, why is this happening to us? And what can we do about it? Because awareness to understanding how the body is working, then we can understand how to treat the body. Okay? How to treat the body. And yeah, see how we get on here. So I'm going to be moving swiftly on from here now, and I've got some slides to share with you. So I'll be moving quickly. So you know those afternoon 3 o'clock, especially if you're working in the office, those 3 o'clock slump. I'm sure you can relate to this. You've had your lunch, you've had your lovely salad and your protein with that, and you're back in the office around that desk, and it's a 3 o'clock slump that hits you. And immediately you're saying, oops, where's my drawer? Where's my stash? You pull your drawer out, you look and think, where's the Mars bar? Where's the chocolate cookie? Where is it? Where's the crisp? I need to get something now. I need to get my fix now. Yeah, it's not smoking. It's not a cup of coffee you're going for. It's something sugary. Who can relate to that? And you're feeling frustrated because you're saying to yourself, well, I know I'm not supposed to be doing this. I've attended a lot of health seminar and I've been told how bad sugar is for my body. But I'm showing up struggling with this. But as I said before, there's no shame here. Okay, we're not going to shame anyone here in this meeting room. But you're getting frustrated because thinking, what is wrong with me? Every month, every Sunday, okay, Monday is a new week when I step into the workplace, whether you're in a school, you're a teacher, you're an admin person, you're executive, whatever it is, you're at home, whatever you're doing. You've made a promise over the weekend that come Monday, you'll be a different person. You're going to change your diet. You're going to change everything. There's no sugar, going on a sugar fast. I'm going to take sugar out of my diet. And you walk into the organization and someone goes, oh, it's someone's birthday today. And when you look on top of the lunch table or on top of the filing cabinet, because that's where this normally is, that's where mine was in the office I used to work in, it's laden with all what I call the goodies at the time. And the chatterbox box says, but you said you're not going to have sweets and chocolate this week. Real, isn't it? Yes. And you're thinking, no, I'm good. So 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, I'm good. I'm not having any of those. I'm strong. Yeah, I'll overcome this. And the voice says, everybody partaking, it's someone's birthday, someone's leaving let me just have a small cookie. And you have one. And by the end of the day, you said, you know what? It's just for the moment, it's just for the event. But you start feeling, oh my goodness, what's wrong with me here? I'm an educated woman, I'm a professional. Why can't I get hold of this? Why? You see, because there are some triggers that's going on in the body. Not that body's failing you, And not because you just can't do it, but there are things happening in your body at the time. And oftentimes we're not told this, or nurses or the doctors, and sometimes we think, well, the nurse and doctor should tell me. But, we nowadays, we need to be more mindful or take control of our health and not just leave it up to the doctors. And so I smile when I see individuals like yourself here this evening to know more about what's going on in the body. Okay. So let us just expose some of this. So why can't we eat? Why? What's the problem? What is the problem? I mean, we are fearfully and wonderfully made by God. We are made that way. But our body goes through changes. So what you did in your 20s, when you're in 30s, you think, I used to be able to fast over the weekend. And come Monday, Tuesday, I've lost an extra pound. I used to do that quite a lot. Yes. Don't eat for a couple of days. Ooh, weight's gone. 30s, things started to change. Yeah, real thing. Yeah, it started to change because my body is changing. And so here are some truth. 85% of women report having cravings as the number one symptom. So don't beat yourself up. You have cravings. 85% in the report, in the research. 73% experience this 3 p.m. sugar attack on a daily basis. 42% higher glucose response after the menopause. So, hey, if you're in this room on this Zoom call and you're 55, almost 60, or even 60 plus, don't beat yourself up because higher glucose responses after the menopause. So a lot of people saying, oh, I'm going to, no more cycle anymore. I'm just, yes, can't wait for those days to come. Let me say this quickly. If you haven't dealt with the symptoms during the late 30s, early 40s, and late 40s into your 50s, they will just continue into the middle. The only thing that will change is your cycle. So no more monthly cycle and having to buy napkins. That will change. But remember, the hormones are depleting lower and lower and lower as the years go by. So in the research, 275% more sugar consumed by women who are perimenopausal. So don't beat yourself up here, is what I'm trying to say. Be kind to yourself. So after 40, the metabolism drops. So if you start gaining weight, more weight around the tummy, more weight around the hip, or just the legs, or just the top half, being top heavy. Ladies, you know your body shape, right? The body is changing. Insulin sensitivity decreases. So that's why individual will develop insulin resistance and diabetes. And you're saying, well, I never had this before. It doesn't run in the family. So where is it coming from? Just remember, the body is changing. The stress hormones increase 60%. So if you're in a stressful job or you have a stressful relationship, be it at work or whatever it is, just remember you're already in a zone of having increased hormones, stress hormones. And we know what happens with stress hormones. Cortisol is a stress hormone. And you've heard me say it's king of hormones. Okay. Now, when it's increased, it means everything else is off. Even you develop constipation. Let me go there quickly. But yeah, fertility equals infertility, you name it. High blood pressure. Yeah. Cortisol, king of hormones. Individuals who say, I can't sleep at night. I toss and turn. And it's not just because I've got hot flashes. I'm going through the menopause. Sleep quality plummets. Are you getting the picture here? So it's a perfect storm right at midlife. So when you hear your mom or grandmother say, yes, I'm 40, I'm 50, I'm over the hill, I'm going downhill. That's why they used to say such thing, because of what's going on in the body. So declining hormones, increased stress, of course, slowing of metabolism, sleep, and intense cravings. So when we talk about the the cycle, the craving cycle, it is real. So imagine your hormones are changing. So of course, you're grasping for more energy. The body needs the fuel. A car needs the fuel, the right fuel to do the job, okay, to take you from A to B, And also, by that, you're craving these blood sugar cravings. Then you eat the donut or the cake, whatever it is for you, the ice cream. There's intense craving because there's more. The body said, give me more of that because there's some fuel here. Give me more because everything else is slowing down. I want more of that to carry me through. So there becomes a sugar fix and then there's a crash. And that's why we keep going back for, we spiking our blood sugar, or glucose. And when we do that, we also, what we're doing to ourselves here, we're wearing out the pancreas, the beta cells in the pancreas. And we're actually saying, the beta cells saying, hey, what's going on here? You keep eating these things and I have to turn out insulin. So with the stronger cravings comes weight gain. And just remember, I said earlier, all the different changes that naturally happening in the body. So it's like a trap. You're stuck in this cycle. You're in that cycle. But just remember, the body is changing. Something here I want to check in with you here to say. Sometimes you may recognize, but you may be asking, but where is the craving? Why? Why? And it could be because it's an emotional issue. It's an emotional reasons why I'm craving something. And that craving, you can identify, it hits suddenly. And remember we talked about the 3 p.m. slum, you had your lunch, okay, and 3 o'clock comes or 2:30 and you want that fix, that sugar fix. And that's where it's emotional because it's suddenly demanding and immediate satisfaction is needed. And it's usually not a carrot or an extra lettuce or celery stick. It's asking for sugar or carbohydrates. And now that, when it comes to emotional, could actually be because there's a loss of loved one, there's grief going on, empty nesters as well too, relationship, you're caring for aging parents, and it goes back to being in a stressful situation. There are many reasons as to why it would be. So you say to yourself, if you're in this situation, you ask yourself the question, am I eating because my body needs fuel, or does my heart need some comfort? What emotions am I trying to fix with the food that I'm eating, that I'm craving for? You know, would I eat broccoli right now? If I'm truly hungry, are you really hungry for what you're asking, for what your body is craving? And this piece here, I will be sharing and going much deeper into this next week, Monday. Yeah. So for next week, Monday, I'll go into much deeper into the emotional piece, because is it a physical, when it's a physical hunger, you know, wow, it's 12 o'clock or it's 1 o'clock. That's my natural eating window, and I need to eat now. And when you eat your meal, yeah, feel satiated, the hunger is gone. But those ones that hit suddenly and ones that fix immediately, is always hovering around an emotional thing that's going on in the body. As I said before, we're going to go deeper into this next week. So won't go much deeper into it right now. So when we talk about, one thing I'm going to share here now, though, is the hunger. Is it a physical thing? Physical hunger, the H for hunger, the A for angry. So we need to address a conflict, HA, and the L is for lonely, need some connection with someone, or it could be because I'm tired, I need to rest, HALT. As I said, I'll go much deeper into this next week. So when it comes on to willpower is not the one. We're using willpower. I use willpower. Oh, I'm asking do this. I can manage everything else in my life. Why can't I have, manage my sugar craving? What's going on? But you see, here's the thing is that we can't outdo the way our body is created. This is it's biology, biochemistry that's going on. So we can't outdo. So this is one of the past clients of mine, when she said, "Oh, I thought my body was broken." There's no, just because her body is changing. All right, her body is changing. And when she discovered that, yes, it's nothing to do with willpower or because she doesn't, she's not strong enough, can't hold it together, but all the different triggers that's going on. So when she jumped onto my program, her energy improved within a week because she started, she was a really diligent client as well too. She did what she was told, carried all the actions and all the protocols that was given to her. And of course, by week 12, she feels better in herself again. So she'll be able to do what she needed to do. So when you come across individuals saying, "Oh, just eat less and move more. Oh, this craving is a part of aging. You're getting older. Try more willpower," or, you're feeling low and sad, anxiety, and they say, "Oh, get an antidepressant." We need to know that our body is not broken. I mean, we can't, we just need to work with it. So if this is making sense and, explaining to you, you can put it in the chat where this is has explained a bit more clearer for you, and you look forward to the rest of the presentation, as we go on. So I'm going to share with you some triggers that can happen. So where the body is making changes, all right? First up, I'm going to share is the thyroid. Now, sometimes you go to the GP or the doctors or a general practitioner and you do a test. And the test comes back, doctor says, your thyroid is good. The reading is well, don't have to worry about your thyroid. But this also happens in low thyroid because they are thyroid hormones that has not been tested. And so when this happens, your metabolism can be sluggish. And remember your age as well too, where you're at in the stage of life, whether you're pre-menopause, perimenopausal, or menopausal, or postmenopausal. So we tend to have weight gain. And how do you know this? Sometimes you have this cold hands and feet all the time, the thinning here, especially the temples and the top of the head. You tend to have constipation. And these are only some of the symptoms you can look for to check in with yourself. Am I presenting with these things or not? And here are some fixes. When you come to a presentation such as this, I normally want to share things that you can take away. All right. So these are some of the fixes for when it's a thyroid issue. It may seem as if it's a thyroid issue, but I'll always say, go and get tested. Okay. By taking the mineral selenium, selenium helps to convert the T4 to active T3, right? So sometimes a lot of women, we make T4 in the brain, but the T3 hormone needs to be activated. And sometimes we need the liver to be working well in order for that to happen, okay? And the thyroid glands as well too. And when that doesn't happen, then we end up with a thyroid issue. Something I'm going to make mention here is avoid fluoride products. Avoid fluoride products. And, so if it's a toothpaste you're using, opt for a more natural toothpaste because that will interfere and block the hormones, okay? Manage your stress. The cortisol helps, we manage your stress levels. We are all stressed. It's the world we live in. But let's find some coping mechanism in dealing with our stresses, okay? We must do that, or else it puts us at risk for craving because you're using a lot of energy and the body's saying, the brain's saying, I need more sugar. Give me more sugar. It's a fuel. We mentioned cortisol, so I won't labor this point again anymore. But, cortisol is there. We need cortisol to help us to move when we need to, motivates us as well. But when you're constantly stressed and this hormone is elevated, constantly elevated, we're breaking our bodies down. We need to find a place where we, in this parasympathetic state, rest and digest. So coming home from work, has a busy day, you're coming to your home and it's peace and quiet and you can relax. That may not happen all the time, but try and have that time away where you can find some space for that. Or you can opt for having, this is a very quick exercise here, breathing exercise. And I like the 4-4-4. Breathe in for 4, you hold it for 4 and out for 4. Inhale for 4, hold it for 4 and out for 4. It helps to calm the body as much as possible, especially if you're facing a traumatic or a busy time. You just need that space. You got some bad news, just need that space to be able to galvanize yourself, There's a lot of individuals who work, there's lots of research on this breathing technique that it helps to reset the body. Next, I'm going to share is one of the triggers is the insulin as well. Now hear this, after 40, the cells become resistant. The cells in the body becomes resistant. So insulin is a hormone that comes from the pancreas, unable to do its job properly. And when insulin not able to mop up all the sugars that you're eating, and just remember, whatever you're eating on a daily basis, the pancreas is there to churn out insulin. Okay, because they'll be eating some form of sugar, whether it's refined sugar or even complex carbohydrates, or rice or quinoa, whatever that may look like for you, sweet potatoes. We're eating on good carbs. So we want our pancreas to work, to mop up some of these sugars that's going to be in the bloodstream. Now, when you eat too much of the refined sugars, the breads and the biscuits and the crackers and the chocolates and all that, and eat so often as well, you're wearing out those beta cells in the pancreas. And then insulin says, listen, I'm rebelling now. I've done too much. Over the years, you've been eating this way and I'm fed up. I'm done. You know what that means? You put yourself at risk for developing full-blown diabetes. So we want to work with our body, okay? Work with our body because it's changing. We want to do our best. And so, because what tends to happen, the brain says, I want more sugar. And then you start eating more sugars. And when you're insulin resistance, it puts you at risk of stroke, heart disease, obesity, the migraines, dementia, osteoarthritis, PCOS, polycystic ovarian syndrome, fatty liver, and the list goes on. Sarcopenia, the sarcopenia for the woman who is over the age of 60 and she doesn't lift weights anymore, but she's losing her muscle mass. When she holds her hand up, she can see all these butterfly wings or bat wings, as they call them, under her arm. No shame, no shame. It's just what's going on in the body. So we want to be able to, this is a trigger here. Next trigger I'm going to share with you. We spoke about the afternoon 3 p.m. crash. And so let no one say to you, oh, it's normal aging. Don't worry about it. Or because your lack of willpower. No. Insulin resistance is happening to you. And we need to take note of that. Okay. Next up is our neurotransmitters. Now, when we in our perimenopausal years, we don't just lose estrogen and progesterone. We're losing things like oxytocin, that feel-good hormone, the love hormones. When you're looking forward to someone coming to see you, or that love, your spouse or a long-lost friend you haven't seen for many, many years, that feel-good, that lovey-dovey. If you have a child, you can relate to a baby. You're giving that baby that love, that oxytocin hormone. We lose that. After the age of 40, we're losing those. We're losing our testosterone hormones as well too. We're losing all the hormones, or GABA, the dopamine, all those. This is why sometimes individuals, we're not vexed, but we look like we're vexed. We upset or face, because we're not happy anymore. They say, oh, I'm happy-go-lucky. No, that's like for the 30s and the 20s. No, and that's why, because we're losing these hormones. So it's a real thing. It's not because you're getting old. It's just the body is changing. Can we do something about it? Yes. And I'm coming on to that. I'm coming on to that. We can do a lot about this. Okay, it's me to man. So, because in the brain, of course, talking about these neurotransmitters as well, declining estrogen impacts on serotonin. Now, serotonin is a hormone that also helps us to see because it helps to make melatonin. Now, serotonin hormone is, majority of it, 80% is in the gut. So if you're eating a sugary diet, high sugar diet, we won't feel good about ourselves. And worse, if we have unresolved matters. Sometimes, let's be real, ladies, you've grown up in the culture, could grow up in the same family home, but you have some chatterbox here keep telling you, and you haven't been good from you were 6 years old. Why can't I get it right like my sister? Why can't I get it right like my aunt? What's going on with me? And we grow up with this. And so you become 18 and 20s, and these things are unresolved. And see, if you haven't been dealing with those, some would say traumas or bad things that's happened to us when we're young, we're carrying them into our 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, and beyond. I was saying to a group much recently, it's 2025. Yes, I don't need to remind you. It's July 2025. And you should make a plan, if you haven't done so before the end of 2025. Whatever it is that causing sleepless nights for you, or those niggly little chatterbox in your mind that's holding you back, especially something from your past, please deal with that. Find a way out of it. Find help to deal with it, because you're taking them in for later life. They won't go away on their own. And they're going to eat in at you. When I see my clients and I ask them on a scale of 1 to 10, where's your stress levels? Oh, no, I'm not stressed. No, I'm not stressed. How is work? How is family? No, I'm not stressed. And when I delve a little bit deeper, and especially if I put someone on a plan and I'm working with them, and I should see the results, and I'm not seeing the results, and I want to see that very quickly, I guarantee there's something else that's going on that she has not dealt with yet, and that's holding her back. But once she's dealt with that emotional piece, she loses the weight, the belly, the gut, the bloating is gone. We balance the gut microbes, and things flows much quicker. And the list of things that she may come to see me with. So I'm saying this. Remember, at that age, we talk about over 40s, 30s, over 40s here. Deal with those things that will cause you to slow you down. Find a way out. Think about it. So when the body then losing these hormones, the brain says, I want more sugar. So the brain says, okay, give me sugar, and we eat sugar, and it boosts us temporarily. So you feel good. So it boosts the serotonin. And before you know it, you become addicted to that thing. You're not able to put you hide the stash of chocolate in your room under the bed. I get some jokes sometimes where people say where they put their stash. They don't want the siblings to know about it, or the bed partner, their husbands, they don't want them to know. And they hide these deep in the handbag, the bottom of the handbag. So they go out, they have a little stash. So little small biscuits, whether it's the Oreo biscuits, they have them. So your chocolate cravings, if it's that, it's not about the taste. It's your brain saying, I want to be normal again. I want to be normal, so give me more of that. Next up is the gut, which we now known as the second brain. You see, the gut has good and bad bacteria. And those bacteria which are off, we need to have 80% good and 20% bad. Okay, just like the wheat and the tares must grow together. Yeah. But good and bad bacteria. And if we have more bad bacteria than good, they are the ones calling the shots, and they send those trigger cravings out. They're saying, vote for the chocolate. We have a poll here. We're voting, and they're saying chocolate biscuits for that person or whatever it is for you. Those bacteria, they are what's called the sugar-loving bacteria, and they send the same signal back to the brain. So if you find yourself having a sudden, intense craving for specific foods, you have like bloating, digestive issues, mood swings, try to eating. Yeah, check those microbes in your gut. They are causing havoc in your gut. And just remember, if you've taken antibiotics within the last 2 years or this year, just know that a round of antibiotics will be present there for at least 2 years after. So if you took antibiotics last year, 2024, you need to do some work in order to feed those good microbes again. Because remember, antibiotics wipes out the good and the bad. So you want to be able to replenish those gut microbes. Those gut microbes are, we need to feed them well. So the fix for this though is eating prebiotic foods to feed them. So things like your garlics, your onions, your if you do fermented food, some people do fermented foods, some don't. Yeah, so your sauerkraut, making your cabbage sauerkraut, you can do that. Or you have probiotics where you can purchase from the shop as well. Or eat a wide variety of food if you can do that. So there's ways around this. Next, I'm going to share with you, and moving on swiftly here now, is the leptin resistance. My goodness. And leptin is a hormone that tells the brain that Sonia is full. She's eaten a plate of food. She's just had her breakfast, but now she's full. Stop eating. The signal goes, stop eating, I'm full. Listen, after 40 years old, these cells become resistant. So if you realize that your plate has been getting bigger and bigger over the years, don't beat up on yourself. It's what's going on in the body. The body's changing. It's not betraying us. It's not because you can't do something, understanding what's going on in your body. So your brain's never satisfied. You eat something and you want more. And someone said earlier, I eat my food, but I want something sweet after. Now, that could be because the plate is not balanced. So there's some nutrient deficiency going on for that person. Maybe. What's on that plate? But it could be that you're eating, but you never feel satisfied, never feel satiated. You want to eat more and more and more. So here's how to check for yourself. Always thinking about food, even after a meal, never feeling full or done. Your portion size is getting bigger and bigger. Now, how can you fix this? Try intermittent fasting. That helps to reset the leptin resistance. And zinc. Zinc is a mineral. And here's the thing. The leptin hormone is zinc dependent. I've got some squiggly thing on my screen at the moment. Okay. So eliminate processed foods from your diet as well. And sleep is very, very important. Sleep. Leptin is produced during sleep. Let me say this again. Leptin hormone is produced during sleep. So good quality night's rest. Good sleep. Sleeping 7+ hours a night. And I know when I ask my clients, how is your sleep? There's always one thing that they're falling down on, or they're falling short of, not getting enough. We have 24 hours. We all have 8 hours for work, 8 hours for sleep, 8 hours to do the shopping and the social aspect and everything else.
Duplex taught me everything I needed to know about real estate. Location matters, but vision matters more.
Yeah. So leptin resistant. Next up, and I'm moving on swiftly now, coming towards the end, is our cellular energy disruption or mitochondria. Now, every cell in the body has these little organelles that pumps out energy for us. So get up in the morning, we can face our day. We have this energy to get up and go, apart from our red blood cells. And they will decline. These cellular energy plants, I call them, they decline as we, getting older. And so these cells, they can't burn fat fuel. So if you notice, as you get older, you start gaining more weight, places that you don't want to gain weight. This constant fatigue as well too, which will drive the craving. Come back to it again. So some of the hidden characteristics to look at is if you're exercising and it's much harder for you to exercise these days. You have brain fog. You've entered the room to pick something up. You got to the room, not quite remembering what you entered the room for. Brain fog. You're trying to explain or try to recall a name, and you're calling your child the dog's name and vice versa. It happens. Cold hands and feet. But here's a quick fix for that. CoQ10. CoQ10 helps with the mitochondrial fuel. And taking cold baths, icy baths, sometimes those challenged on the internet. Yes. And cold showers helps to boost the mitochondria. So I've shared roughly around 7 of these, and I want to put in the chat which one relates to you. Which one do you relate to? Which do you relate to? Is it the thyroid thing for you? It could be because cortisol. Is it the insulin? Is it the gut, leptin, cellular energy, or neurotransmitter? Because see, we need to identify what these are and how they showing up for us. Because when we then start to make changes, people say, well, this is not working, that's not working, but we're not hitting the right nail on the head using this phrase. We're treating symptoms and not the cause. What's the root cause for this? We're ignoring the hormones. We're relying on willpower all the time. Oh, I need to manage this. I manage everything in my life. Why can't I control this? Work with your body's biology, not against it. So looking at some ways how to fix the hormones, because fix the hormones, yes, fix the cravings. And so we talk about hormone harmony. We're looking at the diet. We're looking at herbs or some supplements at times. We have to take supplements. Meal timing as well, or stress management, how we manage our stress. Support our cortisol and our insulin and estrogen, all that. There's ways how to do that in order to rise above these cravings that we're getting. So don't fight. We don't want to fight your hormones. We want to support the body. Give your body what it needs. We would also look at the blood sugar fix. We want to be able to have stable blood sugar levels, glucose in the body, what we're eating, not having crashes. If you can see the red graph, we don't want that. We want a more stable. And we want to be able to, on our plate, what is on your plate? How does it look? What's the portion size as well too? And to be able to, what are we eating protein? How much protein? Are we eating protein according to our body weight? What does our carbohydrates look like? And the next one also, we want to look at our neurotransmitter restoration, how we can restore. Because when we talk about neurotransmitters or serotonin or dopamine or GABA, and there are so many more, we need to be able to boost those. Use amino acids that help to replace cravings. Looking at the food and how it relates to the brain. Stabilize our mood without having to use medication. So whether it's anxiety, feeling low and depressed, which then sometimes people gravitate to sugar to help them to feel good about themselves. We're doing it the right way. Working with the body's biology. Working with your brain chemistry as well to feel naturally calm and happy. So The big picture in all of this is that so you can feel good about yourself again. That means in your 20s, people say, well, I don't want to go back to my 20s. But as you, as the numbers increase in age, you still want to be able to do what you need to do. We have goals and dreams and visions, but we are so succumb to, you know, we lose that. We lose sight of that because of how our body is showing up for us. And that's the bigger picture here. For those who are waiting for the second coming of Christ, you have a work to do to tell others about him. We need to live a life so that others may see God through us. How many times I hear individuals say, oh, I can't go out and tell others about Christ because I'm not feeling well. And they're going to say, I need to talk about the health message. And I'm not healthy. I don't look like health. It's stopping you from doing what you ought to do, right? It breaks your confidence. You want to bring that joy back. You feel good about yourself. So I'm going to share some very, very quick recipes that you can, and I want to speak to the woman in this room this evening who is struggling with these sugar cravings. If you just joined recently, there's no shame here. So put it in the chat. And if you're still feeling a bit shy, send it directly to me. Yes, I need some help. I need help here. Okay. And here is, let me just share with you what's called, I call this the protein chromium protocol. And it's having chromium at every meal and having protein. It helps to stabilize your blood sugar instantly too. And then it reduces the afternoon crashes. Okay. The craving emergency kit, mentioned that. It's the L-glutamine. L-glutamine is amino acid as well too. You put 500 milligram under the tongue in a supplement, or you can actually, for somebody who don't want to use the supplements, they could actually boil the cabbage and drink the water from the cabbage if you so wish. All right. But of course, it's what the supplement does, it's hit the cravings on its head immediately. So craving disappears. If it's a supplement you're going for, keep it up in your purse, like as it says, craving emergency kit. Craving emergency kit. I want to share also this breakfast recipe replacement that you can have with your breakfast, and it all depends on the person. Remember what I'm sharing here, what I call broad brush, general information, general educational information. Now, this may not go for everyone, okay? But I'm just sharing some what I normally can do, what you can do for yourself as well. So this quick shake or smoothie, it's more like a shake with some protein powder in it. Now, you might be thinking, well, Sonia, I've listened to you for almost 45 minutes, but where do I start in all of this? I've tried a lot of what you said. I'm aware of them, but I'm still struggling. Put it in the chat. You are struggling. Put struggle or send it directly to me with your email address also, if you can, or a telephone number. He said, I need more tips. I need more help here because I can help you, or someone else like myself can help you. So what's the next step from here after this session today? We are running another session like this next week, Monday, where we're going to go a bit more deeper into the emotional piece, because there's a very, very big piece that we need to touch on as well too, but I do have a program. It's a 12-week program that I can talk you through. And if it fits you, contact me, then we can talk about that, where I go through and do an assessment for you and write you a plan, but work with you with that plan so you can balance your hormones. Here is another gift I'm going to give you this evening, and it's called the Magnesium Chocolate Fix. For those who just joined recently, today is World Chocolate Day. Yes. So I thought, why not give a chocolate fix? And it's using cacao instead of the chocolate. Cacao is a nutritional powerhouse. Helps to, it's low in fat, it's naturally sweet, there's so many benefits here. It's gut loving, gut friendly as well too. and the list goes on where cacao is concerned, with some almond butter, some coconut oil, and stevia. Optional, don't have to because, go natural as much as you can. Reduce the sugars. And so I'm wrapping up as we speak. And just a reminder here that you're fearfully and wonderfully made, okay? And you're not broken. There's no flaw in your character. You're not weak. We're just going through the changes, the predictable changes in our body. And these changes, we can address them, but address them in the right way. So I want to thank you for spending this precious time with me this evening. Age is not a disease. And whether you're in your 30s, your early 40s, 50s, wherever you are, you have some years ahead of you. And you want to be vibrant, get up and go, have this energy, get rid of the aches and pains that comes along as well. So if you want to contact me, there's my contact details on the screen. You want to take a shot of that if you need to. And next week, as a reminder, same link, same Zoom platform, same time. I'll send the flyer out, but probably a change of a different flyer, but slightly different topic, okay? Because we want to hit 2025. It's come to an end very soon. We're already in July, okay? And we want to hit the sugar thing on its head, okay? I'm going to stop sharing. I'm sorry, stop sharing, but also stop the recording right now. Down the show, the high shift started moving down. Our pace has slowed.